Hello everyone, this is Toby with Birdsong Studios. How are we doing today? I hope you all are well. Thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. I greatly appreciate your time, your attention, and your openness to these messages. So in this reading, we are going to be looking at messages for the sign of Scorpio around the energies of the full moon in Sagittarius occurring on June the 3rd and 4th, depending of course on where you are. So if you have your sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Scorpio, you may find messages in this reading resonate for you. Okay, Scorpio, already getting a blast of energy. Alright, so with the sign of Sagittarius, of course, the Sagittarius is associated with adventure, travel, exploration. It's a sign which seeks wisdom and knowledge and is forthright in seeking truth and philosophy. And so, especially coming off of the new moon in Taurus, which we had 2 weeks ago, around which we reflected upon and really dug deep into revealing our sense of self-value and worth and how that was reflected in our environment, how we were expressing that. And so after that, the integration of that information, now we're forming this new philosophy of self. And so we're going to, that feels very important in all of these readings and at this time for this Sagittarius full moon. So we're starting with the Life Soul Vision Oracle by Romy Wyser. We're going to do the light and shadow spread, starting out with an oracle card to show us the overall theme for this time. Okay, so Scorpio, we have golden ribbons of light. Ooh, well, I'm getting these waves of energy that are making me feel rather dizzy. So something may be happening that feels a little overwhelming for you. Yes, like everything is starting to spin. So I would say it'll be important for you to be grounded at this time, Scorpio. And for some reason, I'm really drawn to the time. There may be something that's happening very quickly for you that is giving you almost this, I'm getting the cartoon image like on Bugs Bunny or the Roadrunner cartoons where the Roadrunner runs by and it leaves like Wile E. Coyote just literally spinning like a tornado in his tracks, or in that one particular spot. And that's kind of the sense I'm getting for you, Scorpio. So it may feel like something goes speeding by or someone kind of flies by you, but it has an impact on you that leaves you reeling. So, wow, that energy is really intense. So yes, I do get this sense of overwhelm and as if things are happening way faster than you're comfortable with, for sure. And I think so this card is here to remind you of your connection to spirit and of your connection to the divine, even with what feels like a bit of chaos happening around you, that this, by, interesting, I'm hearing grounding into the light. So I almost get this imagery of like a lightning rod and grounding your feet into Mother Gaia, but also simultaneously, and simultaneously connecting in to spirit and source light and allowing that connection to help stop the spinning, literally to stop the spinning, so that you have this connection point that anchors you in to this space of peace and calm and safety as well, because you are protected there. Again, the time, I do have a timer going so I can keep track of the time, but I rarely look at it during these readings, and it's really, my eyes are just constantly drawn to it already. And I just looked at it and the time was 5:12. Maybe something happened on May 12th that was important, that is going to be coming back around, or this is a conclusion type part of it. I'm trying to think if anything happened on May the 12th, any sort of astrological things, but I can't think of anything. So, that being said, there is a sense that timing is very important in this, but I feel like you're going to feel like time is flying by and something is happening too quickly, and you're getting the reminder that everything is in divine timing, and although it may feel like something is occurring very quickly, there's a reason for it. And again, connect in with your spirit guides and you will feel their protective energy. And I'm also getting, wow, Scorpio, your guides are not playing today. I'm also getting ancestral protection as well, coming through very strongly. This is card number 36. Something about the number 9 feels very important at this time for you as well. November 9th, maybe that's someone's birthday. Okay, so we're going to go to the tarot. We're going to look at yin and yang energies around this time. Then we are going to look at the light and shadow aspects of these energies, and we will follow up with external factors and key players. I will note that usually when I do this spread, the key players refers to people in your area that might have some sort of influence on you or the situation or just this time frame. However, with many of these readings, it seems to be actually key factors internally that have influence on you at this time. But we'll see what comes up for you, Scorpio. So we're going to look first at the yin energy, and then we'll pull for the yang energy. Eight of Air. Yeah. Now this, I'm feeling the traditional meaning of the Eight of Air, or Eight of Swords, and being caught in your head very strongly. However, I'm also getting the indication here that, okay, what's the yang? The Father. Yeah. Taking action from a very balanced place, what did I talk about with grounding? And it's interesting. Oh, wow. This is so fascinating. Okay, so it was a lot at one time. Okay, so with the Eight of Air here, remember I said it's the traditional meaning of the Eight of Swords is being trapped in one's head. It's all about perspective and one's own thought forms creating a bit of a prison of the mind, and then being kind of bouncing around in there and not being able to, or needing to make the choice to change the thought patterns to free oneself, or to take action in other ways to help release oneself from that prison created in the mind. But with this card, it shows, to me, it shows how to free yourself from that position. It shows the balancing of joy shown and playfulness with the dolphins, connecting into your intuition, connecting into the spirit realm, to your guides, to the unseen, as indicated here with the moon. Balancing your energy centers, And this is exactly what we talked about, because the yin is the receiving energy, right? So when you're in this balanced state and you're working to clear your chakras and allow them to be aligned, then you're in this beautifully receptive state that allows you to hear this guidance from spirit that we talked about here. The sense of comfort, of discernment, of protection, of direction, of clarity. Being in this balanced state and with open palms is absolutely the receiving state and the surrender state of the yin energy. And that allows you then to take action from the grounded position. And we talked about with the lightning rod here, imagery in the golden ribbons of light. Well, that was the imagery I was given for it, of the dual nature needed for you at that time of the grounding into Mother Gaia and the connection to Spirit Source and your guides. And I keep looking at the time. This is so weird. Okay. So there's something very, I feel like, I don't know why I didn't get this before or put this together, but they're saying it's time. It's time for this. It's time for, again, we talked about divine timing, when if something is spinning you around in circles, that disruption is needed. It's almost like that disruption is needed to break you. It's both maybe allows you to be freed from the Eight of Swords and causes a bit of the Eight of Swords, but it's that spark that gets you to create that connection, the earth, the grounding, the really centered in, I'm even getting a lower center of gravity. See how he's sitting almost squatted on this throne that's cut out of this tree? As well as your connection to the divine. This is happening at the perfect time. It may not seem, it's probably not going to seem that way to you when it occurs, whatever this is. You have all the tools that you need in order to be able to navigate this, but it is going to require you to take action from this grounded place. And you cannot do that if you have not worked to balance your chakras, open your crown chakra to source, to the messages from your guides, opened your third eye to connect into your intuition, opened your throat chakra so that you can express what needs to be expressed, and so forth throughout the chakras. But not forgetting that play and joy has such a big part in this process, because it helps to release the energies within you that were keeping you stuck in those thought patterns that created this mental blockade. The Father is seeing clearly, and he is making fair choices from a place of wisdom, from a place of focused on one's security and stability and foundation and abundance and protection. Again, protection. So this is the point of action. This is the energy from which you are being encouraged to take action. Not from the place of the Eight of Swords where you're all up in your head about it. That's not a place of making clear and clear decisions for your highest good. Okay, so let's look at the light and the shadow. There's a lot of energy coming in for sure, Scorpio. And I feel like you're already sensing this. If you're already sensing it, now is the time to go ahead and start working on these things. Don't wait until this happens. go ahead and start creating these connections if you're not doing it already. If you're doing it already, then it's time to work on, let's just make sure you're doing it on a regular basis. Oh my gosh, because look at this. In the light you have love. And look at how the colors absolutely match the golden ribbons of light. That is amazing. Look at that. Exact same colors. Even the imagery is so similar. That's incredible. See how open her heart chakra is? Okay, let's see what's in the shadow. Wow. What do we have for the shadow? The shadow is for Scorpio. Wisdom. The wisdom is within you, and why are you relegating it to the shadow, Scorpio? Oh, this is interesting. I'm getting almost... Because as a Scorpio, generally speaking, those with Scorpio highly aspected in their chart are not afraid or don't really hesitate so much to delve into the shadow. Hang on a second. Let me get one more for love. This is an unusual turn here that I think it's taking, so give me just a moment. Yeah. Okay, the Two of Pentacles has been coming out in almost every reading. This is so interesting. But it's... Okay. Trying to think of how to explain this. Give me just a second. Just a moment. I just mentioned that as Scorpio, many Scorpios are very comfortable in the shadow. Or don't hesitate to look at what's in the shadow. I almost, the way I'm feeling with this is that it's actually love and light that gets you spinning. And it's interesting, and I'm kind of laughing here, and I'm not laughing at you, Scorpio, I'm not. But the way it felt from about your reaction to this was as if something pretty bad had happened. Something pretty upsetting had occurred. And I feel what is occurring here is that you've become so comfortable seeking wisdom in the shadow. Like your wisdom is there, and you know your wisdom is there. I feel like you're super comfortable there. It's when something comes in that is based fully in love and in light. It's almost as if you go to this Two of Pentacles energy, which is like a juggling and attempting to balance something, and you have a difficult time coming out of the shadow. This is why it's really necessary for you to ground, too. And get out of your head. Come from a really balanced place so that you can stop the juggling and so that you can recognize the value. I think you recognize the value. What? Hang on a second. Let me look at this shadow a little bit further. Oh, okay. Okay, Scorpio, maybe this is for those of you who are single then. Or maybe it's also for those of you in a relationship. This is very much speaking to allowing someone else in and not feeling like you have to do it all yourself. I feel like you're very comfortable taking care of things on your own. This is the Nine of Pentacles here, and that is indicated or associated in the traditional tarot with being single, with being stable and secure on one's own, being independent, being sovereign. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, nothing at all. But it's showing up in the shadow space. It's showing up, and with everything else here, I feel like it's this, what's going on, and the reason why it's discombobulating having all of this love pouring into you or being offered to you is that it's what's you're having difficulty balancing is, how do I maintain my independence? How do I share myself, my life, potentially my heart with someone and not lose myself? That's that Eight of Swords, right? But this is, again, this goes back to didn't I say you have the tools and the capability of doing this, of handling this situation? Yes, it may be I don't want to say a constant readjustment, but certainly there's going to be ebb and flow to it, and it is going to require some fluidity of adjusting to you know, when you're in partnership with someone else, it's I read something that said, you know, it's never 50-50 because there are points in time when one partner is at 80% and the other is at 20%, but it's going to shift back. So recognizing that it's not linear, like it's going to wave, it's going to flow, and allowing for that and recognizing that that doesn't mean that that doesn't have to mean that you lose your sovereignty as a person. You are able to, and this goes back to the original theme of the philosophy of you. So when you're stable in that, when you're clear on who you are, what you need, what your truth is, this helps to release you from this Eight of Swords. Oh my gosh, I'm getting dizzy again. I know this feels very overwhelming for you. I can feel it. I can feel it. And the other thing is too, Scorpio, I mean, it's, if you're being offered love in some form, which it looks like it's going to be coming in some shape or form. Of course, it's free will whether what you choose to do with that offer. And that could be exactly where this Two of Pentacles is coming into, is being uneasy about it, not knowing which choice to make. But again, being grounded, being centered, connecting with your higher self, connecting with your guides, with Source, connecting with Source light, and the divine light and love of Source is going to help pull you out of your cave. Because I feel like somewhere this is what you, maybe not for all of you, but it is what you want. And there's a lot of fear around this. And the fear of opening your heart to another is what's keeping you in that cave. There's some sort of belief here that it's not possible to open your heart to another, to receive love as well, to give love, and not lose yourself. And that is not the case. It is possible. We have heaven and earth here. We're looking at external factors now. All right, let's see what else we have for external factors. Oh, destiny. Oh my goodness. Scorpio. Why do I feel like you're not happy with me with this reading? This is not what you wanted to hear. Okay. One more for external factors. The Eight of Earth. There's so much Earth energy at this time. It's crazy. We're in Gemini season. It's a full moon in Sagittarius. But the Earth energy that is coming up is just, in these readings, is really overwhelming. I mean, it's just by far tons of Earth energy, which to me speaks to us really needing to ground ourselves and really needing to be aware of the importance of the Earth and our connection to it in helping us navigate all of these things in our lives. Okay, Scorpio, heaven and earth. This is referring back to what we talked about, this line. The connection point with Source, your spirit guides, the angels, whoever your guides are, your team are. Balancing, being connected there and being connected to Mother Gaia. To be grounded and open to these messages. This is your destiny. This is time. Remember we talked about time, and I kept looking at the clock, and they were saying it's time. Bingo, destiny. And the Eight of Earth in the traditional tarot, the Eight of Pentacles is about mastery. It's about skills you've gained. It's about knowledge, wisdom that you've gained. Like when you've been in this cave, you've gained a lot of wisdom through this process. Now it's time to come out and utilize the skills you have. I know that it's very scary and it's making your head spin, literally. Well, maybe not literally, but the energy feels like it's literal. You have mastery in this. You achieve mastery in this. This feels like almost a final step. I mean, we never quite finish, do we? It's the journey is lifelong, of course. The journey of learning and growth and development is lifelong. But there is mastery that happens in this process when you follow these steps, when you have aligned chakras, when you are allowing in joy and playfulness, when you are connecting, grounding and opening your higher chakras to messages from the divine, from your guides. When you're acting from this place of discernment. And putting all this into play in relationship, this is mastery. Okay, so we talked about it from the aspect of if you're a single person and new love is being offered. However, if you're in relationship, I kind of touched on it, but then we kind of got sidetracked. It does feel like allowing yourself to be vulnerable with another person. Really vulnerable. It almost feels as if you may have a bit of a wall up to your partner or your loved one. And now's the time to really bring that down and allow your relationship to go to a new level. Allow your mastery to, or allow yourself to reach a level of mastery in this that you have been working towards already. It's time. Okay, let's look at key players. Interesting, because I'm hearing I would move heaven and earth for you. The youth. Okay. This is bringing me back to the dolphins and this 8 of air card. This is, you know, this viewing something with new eyes. Emotions. Yes, yes. One more for key players for Scorpio. Thought. And these key players feel like key factors in this reading. Because these key factors are, how are you thinking about, what labels are you assigning to your emotions, being aware of that, not labels, what associations are you making with your emotions? Are you labeling them as bad or good instead of just allowing them to be what they are? And are you able to look at and experience your emotions and your thoughts with new eyes, with fresh eyes, with youthful eyes? And again, it goes back to this 8 of Swords and being caught in your head and having created a bit of a trap in your mind. These are going to be the key factors for you through this process, though. Allowing yourself to, and again, if you're in relationship, it could very well be that you've reached a point where it is time, because even long-term relationships can go through shifts and changes, because both of you are constantly growing and life is changing and shifting, and so things just flow in that way. Nothing stays stagnant, hopefully, right? So it may be that you're at a point in time in your lives, time, destiny, where it's a shift is needed. And so are you going to allow yourself to look at things with these youthful eyes experience new emotions. Allow yourself to experience a more the fullness of emotions, a variety of emotions, the full spectrum of emotions. And are you going to allow yourself to think new thoughts around these, to maybe not label them at all, but just experience them and share this with your partner, to release yourself from this state of complete independence, recognizing that you can be sovereign and still receive from another, still be vulnerable with another, still maintain boundaries, still express your truth. That all those things can happen together. Okay, I am going to leave it there. Wow, really, really interesting reading, Scorpio. Very, very interesting. Thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate your time, your attention, your openness to these messages. Please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And thank you, Scorpio. Open your heart a little bit more. No, open it fully. All right, I will see you in the next one. Thank you.